Mounce, BBG, chapter 19, sentence 2. You will notice on these sentences that I inserted that first word a, primarily because I tend to lean toward the majority text for a number of reasons, including the fact that I think God can actually make sense and use good grammar. So, be that as it may, I did insert that a at the beginning. So go ahead and make sure that you translate that. But bottom line is that's if. And then you have, even if you, just working it word by word, work your way up to the sentence, up to the comma. And, if we take it that far, it's if King Israel, he is, or he, she, or it is. But of course, in this case, we know it's he is. So if King Israel he is, well, hopefully that's not very hard. Israel's not going to decline. That's just going to stay as Israel. But you're going to take it as though it's a genitive, and you're going to go with if he is the king of Israel. And in that scenario, Basileus Israel is going to be actually technically a predicate nominative. So, you're going to want to know that, because you're going to look at this nominative, and of course it's before the verb, so you're going to think that it's the subject. But in this particular instance, you don't have a predicate otherwise. You don't have some kind of an equation going on there if you do that. If the king of Israel is what, because normally we treat to be as a transitive verb. So, you're missing something if you do it that way. Whereas if you treat the subject as built into the verb, hopefully this is making sense to everybody. If you treat the subject as built into the verb, then you actually can have Basileus Israel as the predicate nominative. Okay. Because otherwise, like I said, the sentence missing something. So it's one of those things where you're going to initially think it's a subject, but you need to make sure that you understand what's happening in the sentence and realize that this really is a predicate. So it's a predicate nominative. So if he is the king of Israel, then you get to the next phrase, and we're going to take that up to the chi, because again, chi is the thing that'll split it up for you more easily than just about anything else. He already gave you the verb there, let him come down. Then you have noon, which is now, of course. And then apo tu staru, from the cross, and he gave you cross. So, that hopefully is not hard clause there for you at all. Let him come down now from the let him come down now from the cross. And main thing you need to know there is, again, and I always ask you these kinds of questions. Hopefully, they're making sense, that you need to think about these things. We see tu staru, and some of you still have that tendency to say, well, it's genitive possession. Well, no, it's actually the object of the preposition apo, and one of the cases that apo can take is the genitive. So you toss out your keyword and just say from the cross. All right. So incorrect answer is it's possession or something like that. Correct answer is, if I were to ask something like, why is this in the genitive? Why do we have a genitive here? It's because it's the object of the preposition apo, which can take the genitive. All right. So that's that clause. Then you get to the chi, and here's what Mounce wants you to look at. Of course, you've got the verb here, and then hopefully pistuo, which is I believe, but then you have two things going on. You have the first plural ending, which hopefully you recognize as we, and then you have this sigma that tells you that it's future. So pistusimen is going to be actually we will believe, and again, it should be easy for you to see because you already know, the present, you already know pistuo. The endings, the primary active endings. So you just add that sigma in there, and that makes all the difference in terms of the way you translate it as a future. So, and we will believe, and then you have ep auton, which you could say upon him. But again, we don't really talk about believing upon someone. So, easy way to go there is just to say in him, because that's the way we talk about that in terms of collocation in English. We talk about believing in somebody. So that's what you'd be most likely to use in this particular environment, is to just say something like, for the whole sentence, if he is the king of Israel, let him come down now from the cross, and we will believe in him.